Hello and welcome to Black Bear Atheist. And as promised, I'm gonna finish the video, The Future of Atheism. I posted part 1, part 2. You can watch those before this, or you can watch this before that, whichever you feel more comfortable with. I usually would like to watch it all together, part 1, part 2, part 3. If I watch part 3, I would never watch part 1 or part 2. But that's me. Some people apparently can somehow use their brain and like do part 3 and then part 2 and part 1. That's not me. Anyways, we're here with the future of atheism, and I can be lazy sometimes, so we're just gonna, instead of making another part 3 or part 4, I'm gonna just push all the way to the end. 10 more minutes, we're gonna just get it all through. So here we have it. So far, he's talked us about the rise of atheism, the fall of atheism, and now he's going to talk about the future of atheism. I don't know. I mean, he's saying the future of atheism is gonna fall, so I'm not sure why he's still gonna be talking about the future. And he's gonna give us two new arguments against atheists to shove at atheists. You know what?
Now, I mentioned earlier that the epic failures of the new atheism give us the materials for two new arguments against atheism. We might call one the argument from inadequacy, or the argument from ineptitude, or the argument from incompetence. After more than 2 decades of massive cultural shifting towards atheism, it really seems that atheism is completely incapable of sustaining a society. All atheism does is destabilize a society so that the society is too weak to stand against dangerous ideas within that society and dangerous ideas coming to that society from outside.
Dangerous ideas, blah blah blah. Here he's just talking about Islam, I guess, and I guess the probably the woke movement. I'm not even sure what the fuck the woke movement is anymore, but probably that's what he's talking about here about the danger. But I must point something interesting out. It 2 decades is more than enough to know whether something works for society. I mean, a generation hasn't even passed. Do you want to look at the resume of Christianity? Putting people to the stake for saying things against the Bible? Okay.
Here, one of you atheists might respond, but David, even if atheism turns out to be bad for society, that doesn't mean it's not true. Not so fast. The driving force behind the new atheism was that religion is bad for society. It's harmful. That's what gave the new atheists their momentum. So, what happens if atheism is bad for society? What if atheism is harmful? If atheism is bad for society, it's got to go, right?
By the way, in the first two videos, you can clearly see that he actually never show how atheism is bad for society, or if it is bad for society. He's just putting a bunch of ifs together, which is no surprise because his entire religion is based on ifs and faith. So here we are.
I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. We might call the other argument the argument from glaringly obvious spiritual rebellion. Again, from an atheistic perspective, it doesn't make much sense to care a whole lot about what other people believe unless it's harmful to you or to society. In other words, this person lives and dies as a Hindu, this person lives and dies as a Muslim, this person lives and dies as a Christian, this person lives and dies as an atheist. From an atheistic perspective, what does it matter? Why would you be obsessed with what other people believe? Unless it's harming you or it's harming society. It makes no
Yes, if it's harming you or harming society, you should care. And if it's affecting you or society, you should also care. I mean, technically, I don't feel like I'm directly harmed by people believing that their earth is flat as of yet. But those people vote for crying out loud. And that affects me. So I should care. And I am caring. Stop believing the earth is flat. You actually have no evidence for that shit.
No sense. So, what happens when you find out that something is actually good for you, that it's actually protecting you, that it's actually protecting your society, and you attack it anyway? Take Richard Dawkins, for instance. Dawkins does not like Christianity. But Dawkins has understood for a very long time that Christianity possesses some sort of ability to protect a society from worse things. And what does Dawkins do? He attacks Christianity, removing the bulwark until he's overwhelmed by the worst things. Does that make any sense whatsoever?
No, you're not making any sense whatsoever. What the fuck is the worst thing? What do you mean? Is removing the bulwark for evil to come? Like, what are we talking about? Is this some fairy tale? Are we just writing a book? No, be clear with what you're saying. And it's been doing it from part one, part two, and now it's doing it part three. It's just doing the same thing. Oh, Christianity is the bulwark for something worse. Bulwark against what? If we're to believe your religion is true, the only person that's actually trying to harm us is God. He let the devil rampage around the entire place for the excuse of free will, even though that's not true, considering the fact that he influences whenever he wants things done in a specific way. So don't bullshit me with some random ass shitty ass lie. Like the if we are to believe your entire religion, your God is the one to be feared.
Let's get more specific. In his discussion
Wow, finally we're getting specific. We're getting somewhere, people. We're getting specific now. Please.
with Ayan Hirsi Ali about her conversion to Christianity, Ali said that she was so empty and depressed as an atheist, she didn't want to live. And she said that becoming a Christian made her want to live again.
I lived for about a decade with intense depression and anxiety, self loathing. I hit rock bottom. I went to a place where I actually didn't want to live anymore, but wasn't brave enough to take my own life. And so I was self medicating. Having reached a place where I had absolutely nothing to lose, I prayed, and I prayed desperately. And for me, that was a turning point. And what happened after
Pray to who? Who were you praying to? Allah? Jesus? Buddha? What were you? Nope, nope. We're just gonna hear a story.
that is a miracle in its own right. I feel connected to something higher and greater than myself. I feel my zest for life is back.
Dawkins heard his friend explain how Christianity gave her back her zest for life. Naturally, he responded by telling her how stupid Christianity is.
This is all obvious nonsense. This is all theological bull.
Oh shit.
Now think about this.
I am thinking about it. Obviously, I wouldn't have said something like this on stage, but I would have not know what to actually say. What do you want me to say? I've been saying this for thousands of years. Like the entire religion is based on feeling. So you feel good and you convert to the religion. Okay, that doesn't change the fact that the religion is not true and they have no evidence to support their entire claim. You feel good, so like there's no good way to break it down to her. Be like, hey, the religion makes you feel good, but it doesn't change the fact that the religion does not have any evidence to support all their claims. I mean, this is just one of the personal testimony. Oh my God, I went to church and then my back pain was gone. I was dancing, I was praising God. And then I go home and then my back breaks down in the next 2 seconds. Because, I don't know, the adrenaline you get from like praising and thinking God healed you for 2 seconds. and then you get back home and the back pain is back. Or the people that goes to church and the back pain stays in church, and when they go home, it stays. Like the personal miracle varies in different people. And different religion have the same thing. Like people who convert to Muslim would say the same shit she's saying, and she's leaving Islam saying, "Well, it's not true." Like it, I don't know what you want me to say. Basically, like how do you want us to respond to her? It doesn't change the fact. It doesn't change reality that the religion she's joining is just it's not true. But I guess her feelings are real, but it doesn't change the fact that the religion she's joining is just not true. It's just not. They have no evidence. This is just based on feelings.
This. They're friends. Ayan Hersey Ali is friends with Richard Dawkins. Imagine your friend saying, I was depressed and I didn't want to live until I believed in such and such. Now I'm happy.
I forgot to say this, but what if you were having suicidal thoughts as a Christian? What was protecting you then? See how stupid this all makes? Like, once you actually put it into perspective, and if someone says they were a Christian and they were depressed, they were having suicidal thoughts, and then they become an atheist, I mean, nothing really changed. But like, if something do change, is is that another miracle? Is that does that prove that Jesus doesn't exist? Like, it's so dumb. It's dumb. It is theological nonsense. Of course, I wouldn't have said it on stage. I would have probably said nothing and moved on. What do you want? What do you want as a response? Great job.
Would your instant reaction be to attack belief in such and such, knowing that it's the only thing keeping your friend from massive depression? Let's change the example so that it's something we would all regard as silly. Suppose you find your best friend on the ledge of a building. You say, What are you doing? She says, Well, I was so miserable that I was about to jump. But then I saw this crystal by my feet, and I instantly knew that it's a magic crystal that gives me the power to keep going. As long as I believe in the power of this magic crystal, I'll always be happy.
I'm gonna go into a dark place right now, a really dark place. Keep going to achieve what? Keep going for what? Why? Now, it's just bringing on a dumb analogy, but keep going for what? In the real life example that he presented, I forgot her name. Jeez, I have really weird brain issues right now. She want to keep going because she feels like she has a better connection to this divine being, and I guess she want to share news to everybody and do continue doing her work or research and helping better people around the world. That's something good. But your friend just was on a ledge and then saw a rock, and it says it encouraged me to keep going. Keep going, doing what? Jeez.
Would it make sense as an atheist to say to your friend, What are you, stupid? There are no magic crystals. Get rid of that dumb
Yeah, because that's how we all talk.
rock, you idiot. Wouldn't you instead say to yourself, I think believing in magic crystals is really dumb, but if my friend's belief is somehow keeping her alive right now, I need to keep my mouth shut until I have a way of successfully replacing that crystal with something else that can keep her happy.
Sadly, that's not something you can even do. Because every individual is, I guess, at the certain age, they start trying to find a foundation for why to keep going. It's something internal, just like I guess they believe in God or bullshit like that is also internal. You can convince someone that there's no God, just like you can convince them there is a God. And to be like, oh my God, whoa, I saw a miracle the other day, something not possible. I believe in God now. Or oh wait, What in the world? That doesn't make sense. The Bible doesn't make sense. It wasn't written by God. It was written by men, and you could clearly see the influence of men in the Bible. And whoa, the people that we see on the title, John, Luke, they actually didn't write this. We don't know who wrote this. Wow. But like, this is a more of an internal thing. So I can literally convince my friend of what to keep for or to keep going. That's not my choice to make. I can encourage her in every way, but it's not really my job to give her something to replace it with. That's technically something she has to do. And you could try all your efforts, but if someone convinced themselves they have to go, I don't think you can even change their mind until they are able to like visualize it or see it from a different perspective, which is an internal process. With again, this is a little dark, but like these are things that people go through like every day. No, I won't tell my friend, "Oh, the rock is stupid. Let it go." Blah blah blah. I will say, I'll get my friend off the ledge first. I mean, that's what normal people would do. Get the friend off the ledge first. And I think Ayan RC, if I'm pronouncing it that right, is off the ledge. So you can call it stupid whenever you need. So get your friend off the ledge first, and then you go from there. If the crystals start talking to them about killing people, then you know that you need to like I don't know step in. But like it really doesn't matter. I don't know what he wants me to say here. I don't care whether you believe in a rock is a god or not. I think one of the things I found out is that I care about what you actually thinking and your thought process in this. If you think you actually believe in the actual truth and you think the rock is the divine being that created the entire universe, then you're bullshit. Or if you're doing it based on feeling, whatever makes you feel I, then okay, go ahead. If you're not hurting anybody, everybody has to catch their eye somewhere. I don't know. Some people go to the gym, some people skydive, some people do some crazy things. Just don't hurt anybody.
So, if something you think is stupid, a magical crystal or Christianity, is somehow serving as a bulwark against something bad, your friend jumping off a building or your society being subjugated,
And that is happening either ways. Your friend feel bad whether they're Christian or not. Either ways, they could have suicidal thoughts and commit suicide whether they're Christian or not. It's not really stopping anything.
it makes no sense at all to
So subjugated by what? Islam? We're not getting subjugated by Islam. We're just seeing a rise in increasing their population because they're giving more birth. And a decrease in the Western society average births per woman because of civilization and the increase and the advancement of society. Which we're gonna see a decrease, I bet, in Islam society if I don't know, they start giving women rights. So maybe is this something good to be celebrated? I don't know.
attack the bulwark until you come up with something else that can be the bulwark. But you have tons of atheists who realize that even though they don't like Christianity and don't believe in Christianity, Christianity is somehow a bulwark against worse things, and yet they can't stop attacking Christianity. It's as if atheists are saying, yes, if we get rid of Christianity, we're inevitably going to be subjugated by Islam or communism. But you know what? Totally worth it. We would
What the fuck does communism has to do with anything? He's been saying Islam for like, I think since the second video. He's finally mentioned it. What the fuck does communism has to do with anything? How are you gonna get subjugated by communism? What? My goodness. I try, people. I really do try. But this is utter nonsense. Are you getting subjugated by Islam, first of all, and communism? Anyways, moving on. It still does. You're not still making any sense. Like, these are not ideas which you can go and be like, oh my god, we're getting subjugated.
Would rather be violently subjugated than be surrounded by Christians. And when you're that desperate to get Jesus as far away from you as possible, even though belief in Jesus should be irrelevant to you unless it's hurting you, kind of seems like a real problem is with Jesus rather than with.
Okay, so I remember what I was going to say. Isn't talking? He has another channel. He talks with apostate prophet. He's an atheist that was a former Muslim. Isn't talking against Islam and saying what they believe in is stupid and they're not believing in the right religion also doing the same thing that atheists are doing to Christianity? Isn't that literally the same shit? Isn't that going to affect the people that believe in it? The people that believe in it strongly? Isn't that bulwark against something worse? Why are we not thinking, Wood? Why are we not thinking? Why are we not using our goddamn brain?
with religion or ideas you reject. The takeaway here is that some of you atheists, the ones who would gladly watch your society burn to the ground if it meant you'd never have to hear about Jesus, it really looks like you're in a kind of spiritual rebellion against Jesus, which is what Christians have been saying all along. Thanks for the cosign. So,
The majority of people in America are still Christians. Very little of the population are atheist or even agnostic atheist. Most of them are in the young generation, but there's still technically very little of the population. As is a big chunk that's the nuns. They're non-denomination. They don't go to church. I don't think as much. But some of them still believe in a higher divine being, just not signing on to one. So shut up. Basically, this is what I'm trying to say. Just shut up. There's no atheists that are causing the downfall of the Western society and setting it on fire. There's not enough of us to even do that. Yes, there's in terms of millions, there's few, but like compared to Christians and compared to other people, it's just not enough to be like, oh my god, they're burning down society. It's stupid. It's just dumb.
that's where atheism is at right now. What's the future of atheism? Well, the new atheists made a bunch of promises they couldn't keep.
Wrong. We never did.
They made a bunch of predictions that didn't come true. Western society may never fully recover from the damage done over the past 2 decades by atheists whose ideas spread like rabbits, or like a forest fire, choose your analogy. Future generations will look back on the new atheism as a catastrophic failure. From now on, when atheists say, you know it would make the world a better place if we all became atheists, the response is going to be, my goodness, just shut up.
That's my literal response to this entire video. Just shut up. The entire video is just giving me bulging headache. Just shut up. You're not making any sense, Wood. None of this is making any sense. The entire rise of atheism is gaining few million of people following, I guess, the cause, if you can call it that. A few people waking up and seeing that religion is really not good for society, and we don't actually need it. But that's few millions of people. That's still in the percent. That's like in the. It's not even 10%. No, 7, not 8. Like it went from 3% to 4%. And yet here we are, still low level of atheists. There's a lot of people that are leaving the church, but it has literally nothing to do with them becoming atheists. They're just agnostic, which has to do with, I guess that's a Christian problem. Go get your freestyle theist, but they're not becoming atheists. The population is not increasing by a large sum. So please just shut up. And the rise of Islam, like I've said, they're probably going to be the number one religion by in the next probably decade in terms of population. This is because of the high birth rate. They have literally about the same level of conversion as Christians. I mean, isn't also that your fault? Conversions? You're not converting enough people? Hey, this is what comes with it. Higher education leads to more people realizing that this is entire thing is bullshit. More people having a BS detector to detect that religion is full of shit. Low education means less people with the equipment to be able to be like, wait, what? So, I mean, this is what we have in our society, David. A better education than many different places with high birth rate, which is contributing to Islam rising. Honestly, just shut up. It didn't make any sense in this entire video. And I could technically stop it here, but why the heck not finish it?
You clowns have no idea how to improve the world. If you want
And Christians too. Which part do they have clue about? The part where they support slavery, the part where women are not equal to men for centuries and thousands of years? Which part? Tell me, David, which part? Do Christians know how to run society? The part where everyone that disagrees with them are put to death for a long ass time? Which part?
want to be an atheist, then be an atheist. But don't pretend that you have the slightest clue how to make the world a better place.
Actually, I don't think most atheists are saying this is the best way to do this. No, the atheism are not saying, oh, wow, I figured out today that a God may not exist. I don't believe in a God anymore. Now I know the perfect way for the entire world to be a better place to turn into a utopia. I don't think any atheist is saying that. Do I think less shit is gonna go around the world if less people, more people believe, stop believing in this divine being that they don't have any evidence for? Yes, I think less shit is gonna come around with that. Of course, that's gonna bring its own baggage, but it's gonna be less of a problem than believing in an invisible being.
We gave you the chance, and you
Bitch, you didn't.
did irreparable harm. Atheists will never again be taken seriously when they start babbling about their scientific utopia. As for people who are atheists now, there are three main paths they can take.
I'm curious about this path. What are these three main paths that we can take, atheist, to survive or get to heaven or whatever the fuck he's gonna lead us to?
First, some atheists are going to leave atheism. They're going to say, I tried atheism. Once the brief feeling of superiority wore off, it left me empty, and it did nothing to improve the world. So I'm out of here.
I mean, technically, some are already doing that, but okay.
Second, there will be atheists who remain atheists, but they're going to calm down. They're not going
Yeah, guys, remember we all angry and we all want to bite their heads off. That's how angry we are. And we want to take them to a stake and burn them because that's what we are, monsters. Just angry. God, so stupid.
to be evangelical about their atheism. They're going to return to the way atheists were before the new atheism. They won't care much what other people believe as long as it's not hurting them. Third, there will be atheists
And that's an interesting clause, as long as it's not hurting them. The funny thing is that it will eventually be hurting you. It will eventually be hurting you if you don't speak out to the entire bullshit that's going on around you. It will eventually be coming at your door. And if you don't have eyes to see that as of right now, when it's at your door, you shall see. It will eventually affect you. It will affect you. Because you live in a democratic, to an extent, society where people can vote people in office. And if people are believing in shit, we're gonna be voting in idiots, which we've seen countless of evidence of in the recent decades. Literally in the entire decades since democracy has been on. I guess you could say that. We've been voting in idiots.
Atheists who try to bring back the glory days of the new atheism. It felt good going around saying, we're smart, we love science.
You know, David, I pointed this out during the first video and I think the second video too. That um, you see the increase of atheism with actual technology and the rise of YouTube and the rise of Instagram, TikTok. So I highly doubt there's need to go back to the glory days because we are in the glory days.
Everyone else is a religitard. You can teach any moron on the planet how to play skeptic and run around screaming, that's no evidence. You can't prove that to me. You can't prove that.
And as a fellow moron, I see that you're doing such a great job doing that. And that's why you believe in a fucking fairy tale, David. As a fellow moron, I can see you doing such a great job in playing skeptic, asking questions of why this religion that you're basing your entire channel and your life on, making an entire video, is true. Believing in something you never actually witnessed, put that aside. There's a promise in the Bible, if you want to talk about fucking promises, that the people that follow Jesus will be able to do even fucking bigger miracles than him. Have you ever seen a miracle, David? Or you just have a stats of people who believe they've seen miracles? Not the same thing, David. Not the same thing. Give me a break. Give me a damn break. You want to talk about how atheists have unreasonable conclusion? Let's talk about someone that thinks they actually know how the entire fucking universe is formed. Just put a divine being up there and say, oh my God, look at this. God exists. God. He made it all. Well, we made God. No, no, no. He's the first cause, you see. Nobody's before him.
And it makes people feel good. It makes people feel smart.
That's fucking ironic coming from a Christian. The smart part, not really. It doesn't. Being a Christian doesn't make you feel smart. It makes you feel good, comfortable, and feel like you actually have your life secured when you don't. And when things are going bad, you still having that pretty good feeling. You just gotta dig deeper into the religion. Maybe change church to a more culty church. But that's the entire thing. It's supposed to make you feel good, make you feel comfortable. That when you die, you're gonna actually go to this heavenly Father that loves you so much, he sent a fucking flood to the planet.
Makes people feel like they're better than others. There are atheists who don't.
That is your entire religion. Funny thing, people. Funny thing. The entire Christian weird, so fucking weird how they see this. I can never understand Christians anymore. I can never understand it. I can never understand it. They believe that there's the Calvinist side where they don't think free will exists and God have already decided who is going to be saved. But Christians, on the other hand, normal day Christians, they don't think the Calvinists were right. They think they actually have free will to choose God. So let me ask this. Let me bring this to you. You choosing God, meaning you in your right mind, or choosing God, which makes you like, I don't know, makes you feel like you have a hierarchy. If God isn't the one choosing you and you're not special, it's you choosing God. Either way you putting it there, you putting yourself as a hierarchy, feeling good about yourself for choosing this right religion. So you choosing this right religion. Some people see it like that. Some people feel like, oh yeah, they're lucky. We're saved by mercy, right? I mean, from that perspective, that means God is choosing you, which is the Calvinist idea to begin with. But no, they're saying we're choosing God and God is choosing us. However, the fuck they want to see it, God is interfering in choosing very few people, which fucking raise up their fucking pride. I mean, have you seen pastors? They walk around like they're fucking Jesus.
Don't want to lose those feelings. So they'll keep trying to revive the movement.
David, you should have never brought up feelings. You should have never brought up feelings.
It won't work, but we're about to see some amazing cries for attention and some amazing displays of desperation. What does that mean for the future of atheism? Well, if some atheists are going to leave atheism, and the atheists who try to revive the glory days are going to sound as sad as a 50-year-old who can't stop talking about what a great quarterback he was when he peaked in high school, the only respectable form of atheism will be the non-aggressive atheism we remember from the 1980s. That's my prediction. The gremlin is going to turn back into a mogwai. What are your predictions for the future of atheism? Share them.
I can't see the future, so I can't necessarily predict. But based on the stats, it seems like atheism is only going to continue rising, Christianity is only going to continue decreasing, and Islam may rise for the next few decades. But that's until we see more advancement in the North African region. Hopefully, hopefully, people stop fucking over them. But like, we see more advancement in the northern Africa. Middle East has advancement. It's just people fucking around. But like, I see more advancement in Northern Africa, Africa in general, more education, and you're gonna see a more increase in atheism by the next 40 years. But as for the next decade, I'm thinking based on the stats, Islam is gonna continue rising, Christianity is gonna continue, well, not necessarily decline, but because there's gonna be more children being born to them, but a little steady, no more crazy conversion unless some shit happens and everybody start going back to bullshit. But hopefully not. But there's gonna be a steady increase in atheism because of the internet. Because I can do this. At least people who are close on the brim of convincing are gonna click on one of atheist videos and be like, that makes sense, and the bullshit I've been believing all this time doesn't. Well, that's everything I have for you. Gosh, David Wood is long-winded and annoying. And I'm also long-winded, but I rant, and my rants don't always make sense, and I point that out. But this guy, he feels like he actually speaking, like he's saying things that make sense when he's just speaking gibberish. And these are contradict that. But hey, I did not expect much. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, it's a long one. Leave a comment, leave a like. Have a lovely one, people.